Yeah.
Are we live?
Well, yes, we are live. Thanks for clicking on our faces. Tonight,
Hello, everybody.
we are here to discuss Saved by the Bell.
Oh no, we're not, because I will leave.
Bye, 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 bye,
Not by
Baran.
the Bell.
Oh,
No,
shout out to Screech and AC Slater.
we are actually here to discuss Superman and Lois season 3 and anticipation for the fourth and possibly final season of the series. We thought we'd do a little episodic breakdown and discuss some of our favorite things from the episode and some of our not so favorite things. But this is season 3, episode 1. We are returning back to Smallville after a nearly catastrophic event. Excuse me, the Kents, I always want to say the Clarks, but the Kents are, still trying to get their lives together. We do have the recasting.
Word.
Yeah,
I noticed how somebody got on Viv'd.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. Honestly, I'm not sure what the reason is behind the actor leaving, but it seems like in modern times people are scared to recast. It's like there hasn't been as many recasts, especially unexplained recasts, like there used to be back in the day. It used to be like, okay, you watch soap opera, next thing you know, is a new person playing it. They just make the announcement, that's it. But now it seems like more recently, if there's a recast, it's a multiversal or excuse behind it, in universe excuse. Sometimes you just gotta recast, and let the audience figure it out. We're mature enough to realize that people quit, people are fired, but the story must go on. And I appreciate the fact that they were able to recast and still continue with the story. What do you guys think?
You want to take the floor, Vic?
I mean, I just felt like they should have picked another blonde, personally.
Oh yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Because I was just like, at the beginning, I was like, who the hell is that? And then I just started getting flashbacks of on Viv,
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, going on here. But I'm like, just like you said before, like, all right, they probably have to do some kind of recasting, or the actor quit, or whatever. Who knows what happened? But I got used to the blonde kid. That's why I was just like, and I didn't think he was a bad actor. And then the other thing, like, I kind of think it messes up the story too, because in the previous season they had all of this stuff where there was two of them, and one was bad and one was good, and then it went into this whole thing. So they're kind of throwing all of that away, if that makes sense in this one, like, because of this guy. But who knows what was what the reason was. But yeah, I'm just used to the blonde kid, honestly. That's just what it is. I think in a couple of episodes I'll get over it.
No, and I agree to that too. It's funny because I was interested on trying to look up on why this kid was replaced, and I haven't found anything, honestly. But I do have to sit here and say, and I saw someone write this, and I try to stay away from things like this where someone writes them because I feel like it, see, you would say it's a lot, like alter your thinking and stuff like that. But I have to agree with what I read where they said it didn't feel like it was just outlandish. Like we talked about Aunt Viv a lot. That was outlandish because the first few seasons she was dark. Next thing you know, you saw her, she was much lighter, and you're like, okay, that's stand out. I feel like this kid fit in perfectly. He did from this one episode that I saw alone. I thought he was fine. He was cool. I felt like they picked up where they need to be at. Matter of fact, the only time I really where he, not to say he stood like a sore thumb, but in the beginning, right? They were doing the recap of season 2. They're having a new Fortress of Solitude, and I felt like they recorded this scene just so they can introduce the new Jonathan, and because I don't remember that being in season 2, but I feel like they just wanted to do that because even when they introduced him, if you look at how the camera zoomed in on him, almost like, "Hey, here's our new Jonathan." I thought that's what they did. Did that just so people could be like, "Hey, look, he's been recast. This is the new Jonathan," and I was fine with it. It was fine.
For me, I feel like his performance was a little weaker than our previous Jonathan, but that could just be because that they didn't have the opportunity to build chemistry with the cast and stuff. Yeah, it's like you're doing the job kind of situation. But like I said, I'm here for a recast. Well, let's bring back recasting again with no excuses given, just boom, right at it. Even now that I'm thinking about it. Hey Dan, thanks for watching. Listen, recently got back into catching up on this show and gotta say, they cleverly cut the series recap together to make sure that there wasn't a trace of the previous actor. Makes the transition seamless, in my opinion. Very true, very true. So the editors were definitely on their P's and Q's, hard at work. Using everything that they could. But in this episode, we honestly get a lot of love making for the CW. I was like, everyone had their shirt off, everybody's fresh out the streets. What's going on here? It was
I have a lot of questions about this scene because
Clark getting in them guts.
Oh my goodness! I thought there was a few things that was just really false, not false advertising, but it was false. First off, why after Superman ran through Lois, he was winded, like he was tired, breathing heavy. I'm like, I've seen you fight Doomsday, I've seen you do all this stuff. Why are you winded? But also too, I was wondering.
You gotta make her feel good, bro.
Well, stop
Maybe
that.
you took the life out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make her feel good.
But she knows who this man is. Like, what are we doing here?
It's all
and also too, I do want to ask this. Do you think this is going to be a very adult question? So put the kids away. Do you think when the strokes were happening, he did it on the Superman beat? Bum, 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 bum,
no. But this makes me curious as to. This makes me curious.
That was stupid.
Because
bum, bum, bum. Go ahead, see. I'm sorry.
This makes me curious because he used to be with Lana back in the day, right? And Lana and Lois are girls, so it's going to be girl talk. Are they, talking about the time that they both possibly smashed?
Oh hell yeah! You think Lana's talking about that country junk? Get out of here!
The funny thing is, like but here's the thing: it's so small town. That those relationships
the town, right?
kept like in a more urban environment, those people would probably never talk.
Yeah,
that makes sense. You know what I mean? But that it's so small town, and Lana's the mayor, like
But do you think
give me some cow feed type shit, like.
No, do you think Lana and Clark in this universe actually did the do? Because this is
of course,
absolutely,
yes, back in the day, but he probably just forgot about it, and she's probably thinking about it. You know what I mean? But she's being. I mean, it's not that she's crossing the line, but you could tell by the way she looks at him that she.
I'm still holding out hope for Lana and Clark.
Why are you trying to get? Why are you all?
Are you shipping them? Are you shipping them?
I've been shipping them since Smallville. I'm a Smallville girly. I'm here for Lana and Clark exclusively. But
wait a minute, didn't Clark end up with Lois at the end of the show?
After they shoehorned her into the series, like I hated the fact that they suddenly had a goddamn Lois. I didn't know. After they spent seasons, literal years, building up the romance between Clark and Lana, it made no sense to me. Still mad about that, but here we are.
Okay, I see you.
But in this episode.
Viv.
After the lovemaking, right, we see that there were some hints at Lois possibly being pregnant with their technically fourth child. I know there was like a daughter that they miscarried or something. So
right, okay.
And when I heard this, there's a twist at the end that happens. But when I was thinking this, I'm thinking, oh Lord, this is it. Because whenever like a show kind of like jumps the shark, they try to introduce like a pregnancy or like a new child, a new kind of character like that. So I was thinking, okay, this is where the beginning of the end. But what did you guys think about this pregnancy scare?
I thought the dynamic was interesting because number one, Superman is a father of two 16-year-olds, two guys that just turned 16, and their marriage is like, they have a couple bumps in the road, and then they're like, doing good, and they consummate the marriage again and all of that. And then all of a sudden, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
But the emotional implications behind that were interesting because 1 minute it's like, nah, but then the next minute is like, oh my god, I miss the little feet, and I miss the little hands, and I miss the this
Mhm.
and that, and I'm missing everything that's little, and I miss how cute they are, and all this other stuff. So it's interesting because it's very Lifetime channel, for lack of a better phrase.
Okay.
It's very like emotional, and it's very like, oh my god, the babies type of thing,
Yeah.
which is not something that you really expect from a Superman show,
Hmm.
Right.
honestly. You expect a lot more of the fighting, which this episode had, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't think they were going to put so much emphasis onto um a possible pregnancy,
Uh-huh.
Right.
because they went through all the rounds. Even the whole scene where Clark was at the pharmacy looking mad nervous trying to get a pregnancy test. Like
Uh-huh.
you don't see this in Superman. Like this is different. This is
Yeah.
It is.
way
It
different.
is. I agree.
Way different. And mind you, and then the other guy, the guy used to be the bad guy,
Oh,
giving
you're talking
him
about
advice.
Steel. Talking about
Yeah.
Steel.
Oh yeah, still that
Mhm.
they're still giving him advice, and they just going back and
Mhm.
forth like a couple of guys like, oh, you trying type of shit. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's like I just got married. Like that's the conversations I'm gonna be having soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's interesting. It's just
Very
interesting for
much.
Superman. I would love to see that in Batman, to tell you the truth. See what happens.
Batman,
Anyway.
no, 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 because Bruce is too much of a playboy. I don't see him really settling down. He always trying to smash any and everything, moving
I
him
mean,
and
but
that
you know
step
what
ahead.
though? When you got that kind of money, who's not doing that? You know what I mean?
Well, Superman
When
wouldn't because he's
when
a
a
good guy.
rich
That's why we stand that.
when a rich nigga won't you, and he can't do nothing for you.
Which is why Bruce ain't
These
about
hoes
to,
ain't loyal.
and he's definitely not about to be at the CVS looking at pregnancy tests. 1,000, no,
No,
that
that's
won't
what
be
that's what he sends Alfred for.
exactly.
Yeah, why not? Have for
I
go to
would
the
probably be
party.
a good daddy. I was probably a good dad. I guarantee it.
Who,
Bruce,
Alfred?
yeah.
Alfred would
Alfred.
probably be a good dad for maybe a year because the man is already 89. I don't.
Shut
You
But
can't you don't want to
speaking
age
of
like
dads,
Alfred because he did a lot for that old age. Anyway, we talking about Superman.
yeah, we're talking about Superman. Now, speaking of
Mhm.
dads, right, and smashing, we had another dad in this episode who was getting it on. Sarah's dad, the fireman, the one,
Oh, that was all
I
kinds of
called him
messy.
Heineken
That
yeah,
was
because
him.
all kinds of messy.
yeah, no, he was wild. I mean, the last season, he got caught cheating infidelity with Lana. Lana said like, "Hey, I don't think I can forgive you." And this
Was
scene
he
was
married
interesting
to
because
Lana?
yeah, he was married to Lana. They
He's
have a
on
kid, Sarah.
Mm.
Sarah and I forget the other girl's name because there's a daughter too. I actually forgot about her until I was watching this episode. But yeah, because in this scene here that you're talking about, well, alluding to right before he smashes this lady, um, he's trying to help Clark cook some ribs or something like that,
uh-huh.
and then he sees Lana. He gets, I guess, nervous. Then he sees this other lady who's just sitting there. I guess they have some Heinekens. That's why I called him. Every time I saw him in the previous seasons, he always had a Heineken. That's what I said.
Wait,
Look at
that
this guy.
that lady, she's like a
She's a
she's
A
like
new,
reporter.
yeah.
She works for Lois.
Lois work. Oh, I thought
okay.
Lois worked for her. Okay.
So
That's
now
Okay.
what
No, you might be right.
the part that I didn't understand is why she was so nervous bringing the kids in alarm clock. Like I felt like she
That's
was
what
a
it's
teacher.
giving creepy energy. I'm like, what is
Mhm.
she like trying to like?
I
Why?
think she's awkward. I think she's awkward. I think she doesn't know how to, like. There's a lot of people who don't know how to interact with people in a certain setting, and maybe she was just nervous. I mean,
But these are
I
kids.
wouldn't.
These are children. Like,
But
That's
you'd be
what I
so
thought.
surprised. You'd be so surprised on how everyone. Some people can just easily be like, "Here's your gift" and move on. She probably was trying to be this cool older person, and she just looked
uh-huh.
like it just was egg on her face.
Creepy.
See
Yeah, it
that,
looks
and
creepy.
that's exactly the what I was getting. That she was just like trying to be cool to the kids, but like, are you a teacher?
No, which
'Cause she
is
gave me like corny
odd.
teacher vibes.
No,
No,
she.
well, it's the way she dressed. But go ahead, see.
Probably,
No, I
yeah.
just feel like it's weird. It was giving weird. Like, why are you so worried about impressing teenagers. It's like, girl,
Yes.
are you on a watch list?
No, but then the funny thing is
I'm
that
about to stop
that whole
watching this.
situation, but that whole situation is what led her to connect with the firefighter
Yes.
because they're both lonely, and then all of
Yes.
a sudden they end up in the bed.
Yes.
So
Which
I don't know.
I hope that they're not trying to build any kind of relationship off of this, because that doesn't seem like a really sturdy ground to build. You're awkward, I'm awkward, we're both lonely. Let's get in a relationship. I hope that's not the case.
To tell you the truth, I think that whole thing was shut down because look what happened. Look what happened as soon as they were getting dressed. Look who shows up.
Oh yeah, Lana with the divorce papers signed on the back line.
And the guy could barely even hold on to them. He was just like, "Oh damn, this is really hitting hard."
Yeah.
I just got a whack
Good
piece.
for Lana. Good for Lana divorcing that cheating man. I stand me some Lana. Kick him to the curb. He wasn't thinking about you when he was cheating with old girl, so
Now, here's the thing, though. I'm trying to understand this because he came at her talking about like, "Yo, what's up? When you gonna sign the divorce papers?" That's what I found weird.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because you know what I kind of got out of this? Like, he was asking, and he even said, "Oh, my attorney's asking, you signed it," and they said you didn't sign it. It almost seemed like he was holding up hope that she wouldn't sign it.
I was
And that's what I was getting. That's what I was getting out of that.
Because the way that he took that envelope from her later on was kind of like he was having.
It looked like it looked like it really hit him.
Yeah.
Like I think I like, for me, I feel like he was asking because he wanted to hold hope that, hey, we can rebuild. Hey, look, I messed up. Maybe we can rebuild. I signed the papers, and even if you look at Lana, like, she's trying to hold it together. I felt like the first time I watched it, she was crying and almost like really trying to hold herself back. I watched it back on the way back home, and once again, it looked like she was just trying to hold herself together. So I don't know. It looked.
I think they did build a family together for years, and were married.
True.
But she deserves better. She went from Clark Kent to this cheating man. That's a downgrade. She need to upgrade again.
If I could be quite frank. If I could be quite frank, it was an immediate downgrade once she left Clark.
Yes,
honestly, because not for nothing, this guy. Every time I saw this guy,
it's a small town. There's slim pickings.
That's what it's called. Well, not for nothing, Vic. If I may say something here, because I have one funniest host. That's why I call it Smallville.
Oh Lord! Don't expect to win next year.
Well, everyone is very rude to me.
Well, where's the corn?
Don't you do it? No, I deleted that. Now that's gone. It's gone.
Ooh,
it's gone.
Why would you do
that?
that?
Again, we did come across some more relationship woes.
Oh!
John, what's his name? Not Jonathan. Jordan is, still in love with Sarah, even though she's no longer has those.
Sarah smile.
I don't like Sarah.
Wow.
I don't like her.
Oh, why? Why not?
She's just annoying. Like, something about her is so annoying. I just don't like her. And I don't know where they're going with her character. Like, I honestly don't want them to be together, because didn't she cheat on him with some girl in like camp or something like that? Yeah, I remember that. It was like season 2. I remember that episode. She told him that she kissed some girl and wanted to be with some girl at her camp. And
wait, wasn't she with the blonde kid though?
No,
not Jonathan. Not Jonathan. You talking about Jonathan?
Yeah, wasn't she with that? Because I remember in the previous season, like, she was like showing him some cars and going around with him and hanging out with him.
I don't think it's ever.
No, it was her and
Jordan.
Yeah, it was always something with her and Jordan. Yeah, I know.
So I just hope that they do not get back together. I want Jordan to move on. I don't like her. But also, speaking of girls, the Steele's daughter, Lois's daughter in another universe.
Right.
They were talking. She was talking to Lois's father, and he's very much interested in her as an intellectual.
Military.
Yeah,
yes.
He said, this girl's a genius. I kind of want to recruit her. And he kind of he kind of manipulates her into going along.
They go to a movie. They go to the movies, and that's where he makes his move. But I did want to say real quick, and I mean to interrupt you.
The picture for the move there, Leslie.
Yeah, and he does
Yeah,
this thing, but
like,
I gotta say, every time I see Lois's dad, and no matter what version of it, he's always a dick.
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
yeah. That's the military guys like that, man. That's what it is. But
mm-hmm,
um, yeah. So she wanted to hang out with him because, again, in her mind, this is someone
Her,
who's a grandfather, right? He looks just like a granddad, and he used that to his advantage. And I thought that was so crazy and like manipulative and shady.
mm-hmm.
He just seems like a very morally great character to begin with. So he definitely
yeah,
wasn't who would use anything to his advantage. And I think this is something that we should probably look out for in later seasons because, yeah, he's definitely shown himself to be a little tricky.
I feel like though in the
Mm-hmm.
earlier seasons he did show some stuff where he showed like he's one dimension, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like it's almost like everything else above my family, and 'cause he even mentions too, John's daughter. I don't have a name on top of my head. Um, but he mentions like in this universe like I say things, I say the wrong things, my timing is off, but I do want to get to know you, so it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think he's really like he does. I
I
said
know.
it earlier, General Lane is always he's no matter what. I mean we just did the My Adventures of Superman and he was a dick.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't matter what version we sees of him, but I feel like he realized he's a dick and he's trying to be better,
Hmm.
I,
be
I
better,
think
not being a dick.
I think
Maybe.
this kind of guy is the type of guy that never gets yelled at, and he got yelled at, and somebody put him in his place, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I got
Yeah, yeah. John came up to John,
yeah."
sat in and said, "Listen, old white man,
Mm-hmm.
stay away from my daughter."
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got all
And I
violent.
think that because General Lane's in a small town and he has a hardcore position and things like that, he's usually running the show. So and
Yeah.
the only other person that's ever checking him is his own daughter. So
Mm-hmm.
after a while, you're gonna get desensitized to that. So for this guy to just come out of nowhere, like, listen, what you say to my kid, blah blah blah, you're not, you don't have no right to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl was smart enough to see right through his BS. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But now he's coming back and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I felt bad,"
Mm-hmm.
and I think that part was genuine because he's probably looking at it like, "Damn, you know what? I've messed this up with my own daughter.
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
let me try to do better." So
Yeah, the younger
I think
sibling,
it's
right? The
interesting.
younger daughter.
Yep.
The younger daughter, right? The one who's in the cult.
No, I'm talking about Lois.
Oh, Lois.
I
Okay.
think he
Yeah,
felt. I
because
mean,
Lois. You know how many times Lois called him toxic?
Mm.
And he's
sure.
Mm-hmm.
just like all this toxic behavior that you do, all of this stuff and all this stuff, and you know what I mean. So like, he's probably looking at it like, damn, I have this relationship with Lois like that because of all of this other stuff. Maybe I can do better with it, somebody else. I don't know. I'm overthinking it, I think, but
No,
that's
no, no. It's what
Good
we
points.
analysis. We're here. This is what people come.
oh,
But they did have several action scenes in this episode.
mm-hmm,
And again, I said in season one, say it again. I feel like the graphics hold up pretty good. It's a CW show,
mm-hmm.
keep that in mind. But it's looks good to me, right? It's probably one of the best um, CGI series on CW because they aren't necessarily known for their special effects, right? But I think it looks pretty good. And when we do get the reveal of Lois actually not being pregnant, and it's could possibly be a much more serious, like an illness. What did you guys think of that? I think that's I'm very intrigued because
I, I wonder if it's gonna be something with the multiverse. If one of those shifting people, they got her pregnant by mistake or something, or did something like where she's
no, but
going
she's
to get
not
shifted.
pregnant. Her test results came back
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. But I mean, like, we're just something where where like the Superman blip, for lack of a better phrase,
mm-hmm.
um, caused something. Because remember how there were two versions of everybody. Some people became whole. Some people.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's just gonna be like um cancer cells that were left from all of that crap. If that makes sense.
Oh
I can
You
wow.
know
see it possibly being like a cancer thing, and that's what I find it particularly interesting because Superman doesn't have an ability to correct that. Like he's, super strong. He doesn't have any healing abilities. He doesn't have,
No.
powers of that nature. So to see how he would have to be kind of helpless in that situation would be interesting to see on screen. So I'm hoping that that's the direction that they're going.
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
That's a different twist.
So yeah, I'm hoping that's the direction they're going. What do you think, Chad?
No, I think you guys nailed it.
All right. So yeah, that was pretty much, the episode of some of the highlights, some of the lowlights. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video. If you like the video, and join us next week for more. We're going to roll right into episode 2, season 3. So join us then, and also join us for some movie reviews right here on this channel. Tomorrow, Thursday, we got a review coming out Thursday. Possibly on Instagram Live, possibly the return of UPR battles. Who knows?
Oh! You kidding me? I can't wait to bring that back. That will be fun, and I look forward to bringing back UPR battles. It's gonna be a good time.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
Night.